Welcome to the State Champs High School Sports Show right here on WDIV Local 4. I'm Lauren Withrow, this week filling in for Patty Cesarini, who's staying busy all the way up in the UP, covering Saturday's 8-player football state finals at Marquette's Superior Dome. She'll join us later with her feature on the incredible climb of the Dearborn Divine Child football team, who pulled off the upset of the year last weekend. As for me, I'm coming to you from Troy Athens High School, the site of today's Division I state semifinal between the defending state champs Cass Tech and Rochester Adams. And yes, that showdown is our main event this week. We've also got highlights from a full slate of state semifinal matchups across Michigan, plus coverage from the girls volleyball and swimming state finals. This show is absolutely loaded. All right, let's get right into it. Only the final 4 teams are left standing in each division. Let's take a look at how some of those teams delivered with the entire season on the line. This is the Hit List, Part 1.
Lauren Plants here, and let's start in Division I. Detroit Catholic Central taking on East Kentwood. The Shamrocks back in the semifinals, chasing their first Ford Field trip since 2016, and they waste no time. Mr. Football candidate and Michigan State commit Samson Gash gets it started. Fields a punt, finds a seam, and he is gone. 95 yards to the house. Then, Brother Gideon says, I want in too, taking the second half kickoff back 99 yards to the crib to make it 32-0. The Gash brothers lighting up special teams, and Duke Banta leans on that Shamrock run game to pound out first downs. Detroit Catholic Central dominates all 3 phases, 46-6 the final. The Shamrocks stay perfect at 13-0 and head to the Division I state final to face Detroit Cass Tech next Sunday night at Ford Field. Next, to Division II, defending champ Orchard Lake St. Mary's taking on undefeated Portage Central at Hazlitt High School's Jamie Kent Field. It's also Coach Jermaine Gonzalez's birthday, and his guys give him the present he wants: total game control. The Eaglets grind out the opening drive, Jabin Gonzalez hitting Lorenzo Barber II on 4th and goal for a 7-0 lead. After a 3-and-out, they pound in another Barber score, and it's 14-0 in a hurry. St. Mary's special teams then breaks it open. Daniel Taylor fields a punt near midfield and races it back for 6, 28-0 Eaglets. In the 4th, Jabin goes back to the air, finding Chad Willis twice for touchdowns, including a 73-yard highlight reel grab. Gonzalez finishes with 4 touchdown passes as Orchard Lake St. Mary's rolls 42-7 and heads back to Ford Field to defend its Division II crown. But who will meet them? Let's go to Ypsilanti Lincoln. Dexter and Birmingham Groves with a trip to the title game on the line. Senior quarterback Cooper Arnett is dialed in, finding his favorite target, Cole Navarra. Novara turns in a monster day, hauling in 4 touchdowns and in the process breaking the MHSAA single-season records for receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown catches. Dexter builds a 34-6 lead by halftime and opens up a running clock in the 3rd. Arnett continues his own chase at history, closing in on the state marks for completions, passing yards, and scores in a season. The Dreadnought defense does its part too, holding Groves to its lowest point total of the year. Dexter cruises to a 41-6 win, and the Dreadnoughts are heading to the state finals, where they'll face Orchard Lake St. Mary's Friday night at Ford Field. Moving to Division V, Pontiac Notre Dame Prep taking on Monroe Jefferson at Westland John Glenn. The Bears in the semifinals for the first time since 1999. The Fighting Irish come out hot, jumping to a 24-0 halftime lead behind senior quarterback Sam Stowe and a balanced attack. Jefferson makes a push after the break, cutting it to 31-21 and trying to keep the storybook run alive, but the Irish answer, pulling away late. Stowe leads an offense that piles up the points as Notre Dame Prep wins it 51-21. The Fighting Irish punch their ticket to Ford Field to face West Catholic for the Division V title. And we wrap in Division VIII. Allen Park Cabrini in the semifinals for the first time in school history, taking on undefeated Hudson. The Hudson Tigers come out growling. That power run game is rolling right away. Hudson hangs 46 points on the board in the first half alone and cruises past the Monarchs 67-14. Hudson improves to 13-0 and returns to Ford Field for the first time since winning it all back in 2021. More state semifinals highlights coming up later in the show.
Hello and welcome into State Champs and welcome to another segment of The Pipeline where we give you the recruit report from around the state of Michigan. And boy, do we got a dandy. A couple fellas here with some big news, and I bring in correspondent from 24/7, Alan True, as always. Thanks for joining me, pal. So let's start it off, man. Some huge news here for Michigan and a certain athlete quarterback in Saline. Tell us who made some news and tell us a little bit about that.
Saline quarterback Tommy Carr flipped to Michigan this week. He was committed to Miami, Ohio, whose class has been rated lately. I know that they've been probably, lightly preparing for this for a long time, as Tommy was the top recruit in their class, and a lot of Power 4 schools had been trying to flip him. But it took a school like Michigan, where he has some obvious family ties, grandfather being Lloyd Carr, father Jason played quarterback in the University of Michigan. Obviously, his older brother CJ is at Notre Dame now, but a lot of Michigan ties. So once Michigan came through with an offer, it was a fairly easy choice for Tommy. They have a quarterback committed in the class already from out west, Brady Smigel, but he's injured, and so they needed to bring in another quarterback, and Tommy was the guy after a fantastic senior season and career.
Yeah, why not reach right in your backyard? I know a lot of Michigan fans were somewhat disappointed or upset to see CJ leave the state, but he's doing great things for Notre Dame, and you expect the same from Tommy. So excited for him and his family to reunite at Michigan there. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. He's Alan True. I'm Grant Perry. That was another episode of The Pipeline where we give you the recruit report. Thank you. Catch you next time.
Hi everybody, Patty Cesarini here, and before I went up to the UP for 8-player football state championships, I had to make a stop at Dearborn Divine Child. They delivered the biggest shockwave of the MHSAA playoffs, knocking off Harper Woods last Saturday. When we come back, we'll have the full story behind one of the biggest upsets of the year.
Big pizza's a big deal at Hungry Howie's. Right now, order online carryout and take 51% off any large, original, or thin crust pizza. That's right, more than half off the round ones. A whole 1% more than half. Hey, it still counts. And you get the whole original or thin crust pizza, the whole round pizza. But you love a classic round pie, so go ahead and take 51% off any of them. And don't forget to add flavored crust on us, because we do both.
Hungry Howie's.
Follow the pathway of curiosity to the ground floor of possibilities. Change the world we live in by designing the world of tomorrow. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University has all the technology and tools to make magic. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Hi everybody and welcome back into State Champs. It's now time to revisit one of the loudest moments in this year's race to Ford Field. Last week in Division 4, Dearborn Divine Child didn't just upset Harper Woods, they completely shut down one of the state's most explosive offenses and the number 3 team in Michigan. Dearborn Divine Child can say that they made their mark on this year's postseason and that they can hang with anybody. We call this the climb. Fueled by motivation to prove others wrong, Dearborn Divine Child delivered the biggest shock this football season. With what felt like the world and the odds stacked against them, the Falcons took down the Division 4 favorites, Harper Woods, for a regional championship, proving that the only belief they need is in themselves.
We were reading the press clippings a little bit, and nobody seemed to be giving us a chance. And you know, I think our kids use that a bit, you know, a little chip on their shoulder and trying to gain some respect.
You have nothing to lose in that scenario. And it's kind of what I told the team is that makes us dangerous, and that nobody believes in us. We came in there, we showed what we could do.
Wins like theirs don't happen overnight. They start at the beginning of the season. With every practice and rep on and off the field, this team was waiting for their moment. They held one of the best offenses in the state to their lowest scoring game of the season. And the Falcons' offense? A secret they had in their back pocket that nobody saw coming.
We went into the full house power T offense. We worked on that for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You know, we do a couple sessions in practice, and you know, I wouldn't say we were great at it, but certainly it was good enough.
You know, we got into it and they were kind of just screaming a little bit. They were a little flustered.
Regardless of the state semifinal outcome, the competition always has and always will lie between the ears of each Divine Child player.
We know that our best can hang with anybody. We're just going to go out here at practice and in the game and just play our best game, and it comes down to us. It comes down to how we play.
The 2025 team has already cemented their moment in program history, channeling the excellence of those like Aiden Hutchinson that came before. Each year, the team has always played for a bigger purpose, legacy, pride, a brotherhood, even 40 years ago in their last state championship.
I think we really match up similarly that in the 85 team was. Divine Child has a tremendous history and tradition here, and I think everybody knows Aiden Hutchinson went here and things like that, and we deal with a lot of those kind of comparisons and questions, but this group has said from the beginning they want to set their own legacy here and kind of put their own stamp on the program, and I think that's a great way for them to kind of go about it.
We got done! We got done!
I'm Patty Cesarini for State Champs.
Time now to check this out, powered by Lawrence Technological University. The Blue Devils men's basketball program at Lawrence Tech has been on a steady rise, a 4-year climb that's taken them from 6 wins to modern-day records and a new standard of excellence under head coach Josh Pickens.
First, what's fueled the growth is really good players. We've been able to create a culture of just being grateful for our opportunities and hard work. And with that, special players has come through the program like Ty Searles, Brandon Beavers, and others. So they've propelled us, you know, with that culture to some success. And hopefully the next chapter looks like cutting down some nets, because that's where we're trying to get to.
LTU is also a true developmental program where former players and coaches invest deeply in building the next generation.
We have no choice but to be a developmental program. We feel like recruiting is a lifeblood, but also development is right next to that. And so development looks like us as coaches and our former players just getting after it. With that culture we created, guys want to give back, and they've become our best coaches and our best player developers. So I don't do it alone. I barely do anything now.
For recruits watching, Pickens says the right fit at LTU starts with character and continues with a willingness to work.
Number one, you got to be high academic. You got to be good character. You got to be unselfish, willing to give yourself up. And you got to be willing to work. And you come in here and be ready to transform into a better player, better person, and better student. And it doesn't hurt if you can let it fly from 3 as well.
Hard work, high character, a culture built on passion and purpose. This is LTU basketball. Recruit yourself at LTURecruitYourself.com. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic.
I'm Robbie Elliott, and for the first time in State Champs history, Lauren Plant and Hobie Artigue are going to be bringing you Metro Detroiters a football finals preview show. This show will include coaches interviews, a Mr. Football and Annanville top 4 reveal, and a breakdown of all the matchups that matter most to you guys. This show will be on Local 4 on Wednesday at 8 p.m. and will also air on the State Champs YouTube page.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself. At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sennebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Welcome back to State Champs. Time now for some more semifinal highlights with the Hit List, Part 2.
More hit list for you. LP back here in Division 3 at Grand Blanc. Warren De La Salle just 3-6 entering the playoffs, meeting undefeated DeWitt. The Pilots strike first. Princeton-bound Anthony Batanzi powers in for the touchdown, and DLS takes a 13-7 lead to the half. But after the break, it's all Panthers. DeWitt turns to Central Michigan-bound quarterback Traverse Moore, and he takes over. 4 rushing touchdowns as the Panthers flip the script. The Panthers pull away, winning it 41-20, move to 13-0, and punch their ticket back to Ford Field to face Mount Pleasant in the Division III final. Next, to Division 4. Dearborn Divine Child taking on defending champ Goodrich. Second quarter, Iowa commit and Mr. Football candidate Marcello Vitti breaks a tackle and powers in from 17 yards out for a 7-0 lead. From there, the defense took over with multiple takeaways, and it's still 7-zip at the break. Goodrich finally answered, but down 3 in the final minute, their last drive ends in the hands of Michael DeSalvo, his second interception of the day. Divine Child grinds out a 10-7 win and earns its first state championship appearance since 1985, where it will face Hudsonville Unity Christian for the D4 title. Let's head to Novi for the Division 6 semifinal. Jackson Lumen Christi and Almont, an instant classic at Wildcat Stadium. We end up tied at 13, headed to overtime. Neither side can finish it in the first extra frame or the second. Both find the end zone, but missed kicks keep it 19 all, and we go to a third overtime. Almont is stopped just shy of the goal line, and that sets the stage. Lumen Christi sneaks it in from a yard out. The Titans survive 25-19, and with the victory, Coach Herb Brogan passes Al Fracassa for second all-time in career wins in Michigan high school football. Let's wrap it up with the 8-player state finals at Northern Michigan University. In D1, Martin taking on Montebella. The Clippers fall behind early, but senior quarterback Halen Buell takes over. 3 rushing touchdowns and another through the air. Martin scores 52 straight and rolls 52-8 to claim its 3rd state title in 4 years. In D2, Portland St. Patrick meeting North Dickinson, and the Shamrocks set the tone immediately. Brady Leonard, Hudson King, and a fast swarming defense control it start to finish as St. Patrick cruises to a 53-0 shutout. The Shamrocks finish a perfect 13-0 and bring home their first football state title since 1992.
I'm Ravi Elliott, and let's run it back with some state final action from this weekend. We begin with the girls swimming state finals starting in Division 1 at Oakland University. Shout out to West Bloomfield senior Elizabeth Eichbrecht, who completed the championship sweep with her 4th straight finals title in both the 200 freestyle and 500 free. Her winning 500 times set a new all-finals record, breaking the mark of 444.7 set in 2017. In the team race, It was all Ann Arbor Pioneer. Sophomore Talua Beg led the way with wins in the 200 individual medley and the 100 breaststroke as Pioneer claimed its 6th straight Division I state title. Over in Division II, the depth of Farmington Hills Mercy was on full display. The Marlins got big wins from Avery Tack in the 200 IM and Ella Hafner, who anchored the 400 free relay to close it out. Mercy secures its 3rd straight Division II state championship. Now to the volleyball state finals. In Division I, Farmington Hills Mercy, looking for its 2nd state title in 3 years, taking on Bloomfield Hills in its first ever championship match. The Marlins spread the wealth. Kate Kalzinski, Ella Andrews, and Cree Hollier all making plays as Mercy wins it in 4. In Division II, Detroit Country Day going for back-to-back titles against first-timer Flat Rock. The Yellow Jackets were led by senior Elise Heimstra with a game-high 21 kills. Country Day sweeps Flat Rock in 3 and goes back-to-back in D2. For more coverage, check out our state champs at the state finals special recaps of the volleyball and girls swim finals airing next week. High school sports fans, with winter sports vastly approaching, we want the best stories from boys and girls basketball, boys and girls hockey, boys and girls wrestling, and one of our favorites, cheerleading. So if you have an intriguing story that you want mentioned on this show, hit our State Champs direct messages at State Champs Mish.
Big pizza's a big deal at Hungry Howie's. Right now, order online carryout and take 51% off any large original or thin crust pizza. That's right, more than half off the round ones. A whole 1% more than half. Hey, it still counts. And you get the whole original or thin crust pizza, the whole round pizza. But you love a classic round pie, so go ahead and take 51% off any of them. And don't forget to add flavored crust on us, cause we do both. Hungry Howie's.
In a world where the magic of movies transports us to new realms, there exists a place where curiosity takes flight. Lawrence Technological University, where curiosity isn't just encouraged, it's celebrated. Here, minds ignite and dreams take shape, where innovation isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. Explore the magic of discovery. Experience the wonder of Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Welcome back to State Champs. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Cass Tech enters the game with a 22-game win streak and the most electric playmaker in the state, CJ Sadler, who's fresh off a regional final performance with 4 touchdowns, including a pick 6. Across the field, Rochester Adams is a blue-collar, battle-tested team chasing down its 3rd Ford Field appearance in the last 6 years. It's not a team of superstars, but they're full of grit, heart, and belief. 2 teams, 1 ticket to the championship. Here's Lauren Plant for more.
Cass Tech, riding a 22-game win streak powered by arguably the most electric playmaker in Michigan, CJ Sadler. This was Adams' 3rd semifinal in 6 seasons. They weren't in awe of Cass Tech, they were here to win. The tone? Cass Tech set it fast. Sophomore Julian Taylor, who would become the story of the day, takes the handoff from Donald Tabron, hit the edge, 11 yards, 7-0 at the end of the first. But Adams didn't come this far to blink. 4th and goal. Ryland Waters rolls right, keeps the play alive, fires to Matt Topner. Shot delivered by Sadler, but hangs on. They go for 2. They get it. 8-7 Adams early in the second. But CJ Sadler took the kickoff all the way to the Adams 18, and from there, Taylor went to work again. A zig, a zag, and the sophomore darts into the end zone. Cass Tech back on top 14-8. And just before halftime, the play that reminded everyone why Sadler is the most dangerous weapon in the state. Tabron stands tall in a clean pocket, fires, Sadler shakes and glides into the paint. Cass takes a 21-8 lead into the break. Third quarter, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Taylor up the gut for his third score of the day. 20 carries, 10, didn't matter. Adams simply couldn't get a read on him. A 48-22 win as CJ Sadler and Donald Tabron shared their signature swagger. You could feel it. The technicians walked off knowing the showdown everyone waited for was finally real. Cass Tech versus Detroit Catholic Central for the Division I state championship. Cass Tech is heading back to Ford Field.
We're down here with running back Julian Taylor, who had 5 trips to the end zone in this 48-22 win. What did your team do to set you up so well offensively today?
I mean, it's the O-line, it's the receivers blocking downfield too. It's the row up front. Them traffic control. They call themselves, they control the traffic. They them guys, man. You got the receivers blocking up field. Without them, I ain't nothing. So, and without my coaches, so I love these boys, man. I'm riding with them to the end, no cap.
Hey everybody, Lauren Plant here, and before we get started, I want to congratulate all the teams that advanced to the state finals this weekend, and a special shout out to the 6 Metro Detroit teams heading to Ford Field. You earned it. Now let's talk awards. We're down to the wire. In just 24 hours, voting closes for the State Champs Mr. Football Award and the State Champs Amble Award. The deadline is Monday, November 24th at 12 p.m. If you haven't voted yet, this is your last chance to help your favorite player reach the Final Four. And here's the big news. You'll find out who made the Final Four during our first ever State Champs on Local 4 High School Football State Finals preview show. That premieres Wednesday night, November 26th at 8 p.m. Our online vote champions will join 3 other panel-selected finalists, and sometime in the week after the state championships at Ford Field, we will reveal this year's Mr. Football and Amble Award champion. Of course, a huge thank you to Hungry Howie's for making all of this possible. Stay tuned. The big reveals are coming.
Semifinal Saturday gave us plenty to talk about, but trust me, the best is still on deck for championship week. Make sure you tune in to the State Champs on Local 4 High School Football State Finals show, where Hobie Artigue will join Lauren Plant and Patty Cesarini as they break down all the teams still in the hunt for some hardware at Ford Field. Plus, we'll reveal the Final Four for the Mr. Football and Anvil Award races. Don't forget, next week's State Champs is back to its regularly scheduled time slot, Saturday mornings at 10:30 on WDIV. There are only 2 shows left before the holidays, and they're going to be absolutely jam-packed with state championship action that you won't want to miss. I'm Lauren Withrow. Thanks so much for letting me hang out with you this week, and we'll see you next Saturday right here on State Champs.
State Champs High School Sports Show on Local 4 WDIV is presented by Lawrence Technological University. With over 24 NAIA varsity sports, we want you to recruit yourself at lturecruityourself.com. State Champs is also brought to you by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, proud partner of the MHSAA. Alta Equipment Company, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alta Equipment. And Michigan Elite Volleyball Academy, consistently developing players at the highest level of amateur competition.